Good morning, cyber friends. It's Midiman coming at you again from Walker's Music. Yet another word for today, Monday morning edition. We thank God for life, health, and strength. We give Him all the glory and all the honor. We thank Him as well as it is. We also thank God for each and every one of you, cyber friends. You know who you are. Also, we want to give honor to the Bible study, the co-laborers of the gospel. You know who you are. We just name a couple of people that are been very faithful. Sister Adrienne, Sister Tina, as well as Sister Vaughn, have been very, very faithful. In other words, for as well as they can be. A lot of time, old Midiman have to counsel himself. In other words, because of my busy schedule. And I don't like to say so much as busy schedule, but I like to say my productive schedule, because I have a lot of things that I try to do and employ. And we thank God that He has made me strong enough to be able to do these things. Matter of fact, I'm full of revival this week. I think I have something to do every day this week except for Wednesday. But we give God the glory. And as you see in my video title, it said, Midiman offends 95% of America. Yes, people. 95% of people are not going to be like what I say in this here particular video. But nevertheless, I got to speak the truth. I want to say, first off, we want to give a shout out to New Salem CME Church, where the minister of music at on first Sunday. Yesterday, me and Brother Clark got there, and they had started Sunday school, and we had an awesome time in Sunday school. Two of my classmates, remember that church, the female, Sister Veronica Clark Mitchell. Veronica Clark Mitchell now. She married one of our other classmates that's also a pastor, Reverend Jacob Mitchell. And they was already there, and they had a great discussion going. And my classmate, Reverend Mitchell, made an awesome statement about the problem of America. And not only America, but it's a straight problem of the world. Sin, point blank. He made a very, very good point. People are not trying to, they call it right, wrong, wrong, right. All of these things which we have discussed, and he put a nail in it on yesterday, and we thank God for that. We got some people that don't mind telling the truth and don't mind offending. See, people, if you are offended for the truth, then you just offended. And the way I see it, we need to go back. And I know we keep wondering why things are the way they are. Well, let's just go with the basics. That's what we were talking about yesterday. I said, let us get back to the basics. Now, what's wrong with America and the world? Period. As my classmate said, Reverend Jacob Mitchell said, it's the problem we know is sin. And because people don't want to get in their place, do what they're supposed to do, and live out their lives according to God's plan. See, it said many are the plans of a man, but it's God's purpose that are going to prevail. Now, as we look at let's go back to the beginning. Everything starts at the beginning, people. If you go, when God created Adam, and all the things that God had prepared for Adam, He brought the animals to Adam to see what he would call them. And whatever Adam called them, the Bible said that was their name. So a lot of times we say that Adam named the animal, but I didn't read it like that. In other words, Adam was so in tune to God. He was made in God's image. He was God's son, just like Jesus is God's son. Adam was God's son, and He didn't say that Adam named them, but He said whatever Adam called them, that was their name. In other words, that tells me that, okay, God had already said, this is a cow, this is a giraffe. But Adam didn't know that, but God wanted to see the intelligence of His God, man, He created. So when He brought him Adam, Adam called him the same thing that God had already called him. That's what I say. Now, a lot of y'all going to disagree with that. I'm not arguing that point. I come here for a totally different reason. If America is offended because of what I'm finna say, then America get offended. Adam was created perfectly in his way. He was already like God. Well, he didn't have anybody that looked like him. All right? What is the number one thing right now that most females say on any given avenue? If you ask a female, she'll say, I'm looking for a man to help me. That's most of what she'll say. But sisters, let me tell y'all something. You got it backwards. You were created to help Adam. See, we don't see it. All they said, I need a man to help me. No, backward. You were put here to help the man. See, that number one right there. That's the. If we could just get that straight, 95% of our problem would be solved. If we could just get that straight. Man was not made to help you. You were made to help the man. Well, Midiman, what you talking about? Let me tell you something. Female and male created equal. It don't mean the male dominated, but God did make the man the head. Number one. God did that. So now we females, if y'all are mad about that, well, you better get mad at God, because He the one done it. We didn't do it. We didn't give ourselves the title. God did. He made us the head. But He did not put us as a dominating force to be mean and ugly and all that. No, no, no. But He put you here as a helper to the man. Well, let's see something. Let's see something about that. I can remember my great-grandma speaking to me years ago, and she was telling us about how the marriages and things worked in their day. My great-grandmama, if she had lived, she would have been 111 years old this year. She was born in 1904. And she used to tell me that how the household was ran. No one expected the male to do certain things, not in the household. But this was expected to be done by the female. That was just a given. Now, it may not have always been politically correct or biblically correct, but that was the way that they were brought up. They stuck it out at home. Wives were homemakers. But I know time changed. Time changed. Now you got professional women, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, the more professional the woman, the better it is to me. I don't like nobody dumb, stupid. I ain't never liked nobody dumb and stupid. And that's how come I tried to not get myself in that area. If you're a professional, there's nothing wrong with that. But still, you cannot get out of the order that God put things. So number one, you were supposed to help the man. That was your purpose. That was your whole purpose, was to be put here to help me with the man. In other words, a helper suitable for him. Because a giraffe wasn't, an elephant wasn't. You are the only one that fits that criteria. Now, when you get out of your place, and now you want to start leading the man, you don't. In other words, you can't get some women to boil eggs in the kitchen. And for God's sake, do a little cleaning. They'll tell you quick. No, all of us can do it. I take my own self-defense. I don't mind getting up and I cook in a minute. Know how to do it. Was taught by I was raised by women. My grandmama, my great-grandmama, my mama, my aunt G, my great-aunts, all them. I was raised by women. So, I mean, you talking about going to the kitchen, cook, honey. I challenge anyone on my red velvet cake. Homemade from scratch. I don't use no duck and hine. I know how to do it all from scratch. That's because why? I was taught by some good women. I was taught by good women that knew how to do it, and they taught me. And my great-grandmama always told me, so I'm going to teach you this because, see, every man don't marry. Every man don't marry, and you may have to cook and do stuff for yourself. My washing, cleaning, I can do it all, sisters. Believe me. If I had to have a woman for that, I wouldn't need one because I can do all that myself. But the problem is, if you don't have to do these things, see, God knew that two better than one. But when you ain't going to fulfill your role, what good are you? You're no use. If you're not going to produce, you're no use. So this is how come I say to America, we became a nation that got what? We became unproductive. The NAFTA, N-A-F-T-A, the North American Free Trade Agreement that made America sorry. In other words, sent all the industries overseas, cheap labor and everything, and all America, they wanted to sit down and play Nintendo and Xbox. Nobody producing anything. And guess what? That is a direct violation against God's law. He made man, he said, be fruitful. He told Adam and Eve, be fruitful and multiply. That means you should be doing something. If you're on this planet and if you are breathing God's air, you should be productive in something. Oh yeah, I'm finna offend all you people that sit at home every day and want to flip channel, play Nintendo and Xbox and stuff, and then think of talking about the country going to hell in a handbasket. It can't help but go to hell in a handbasket because you sitting down not doing anything. We are not productive. And this is what we were speaking of in Sunday school on yesterday. As a matter of fact, I made the statement. I know people get offended. We are not saying that people that need a system, they need and can't help themselves, by all means we should help. Jesus commanded that we should help the poor. God's commandment is that we not turn a deaf ear to the poor. I'm not saying that, but I'm talking about laziness. It's not right that me, you go out and whatever that is that you do, it doesn't make no difference. Whatever you're doing, if you're productive, if you're making a green dollar, if it's digging a ditch, you're making your money, and then you got to give it to a lazy person. That's not biblical. That's not biblical. I don't care who said, I don't care what preacher get on TV and try to make you feel guilty. God told me in the word, if a man did not work, neither should he eat. So in other words, not my responsibility to go out and do my hard playing and doing all I do and then give it to somebody else to sit down and be lazy. No, 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 no. But this is why I said 95% of the American population right now, we are lazy because the government has made it easy for you to get something for nothing. And this is how come our industry done went straight through the bottom. China right now is the leading country in gross national product. They are producing. They are the leading country right now, if I'm not mistaken. Last I checked, China was #1 because they got people that are productive. Whereas we got people over here that want to sit back and wait on a check every month and don't do nothing from check to check. You're not producing to put anything back into the system, but you are constantly taking out of the system. Now, what I'm saying, I'm not talking about the ones that have paid their dues, people that don't work 30, 40 years, they don't pay their dues. They should get what they get. That money belongs to them. That's perfectly fine. But what I'm talking about is those able-bodied people that just keep taking out of the system and not putting nothing back in. People, when you don't produce anything, how can you expect this country to get back on its feet? Oh yeah, we know a lot of things going on in the United States right now that are not right. And I feel and I know that it's against God's law. Certain things that we have done is not, God is not pleased. But we cannot blame everything on the country. Blame it on us too about being so lazy and unproductive. You want to sit at home and wait for somebody to give you something. Not biblical. Not biblical. And now I'm finna offend some more people that want the church to do everything. Every time something happens, they feel that the church is supposed to come to your aid. Well, what are you doing for the church? Some of us don't tithe. We don't give not one dime toward the church. Nothing that goes on at the church. But when you get sick or want something, they feel the church need to, that if you don't roll out the red carpet to them, that boil them over in gifts and money, they'll talk about the pastor, talk about the member, them big shot Negroes and all that. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. You don't put nothing into the bank, you can't get nothing out of the bank. Unless, of course, you go in there and steal it. And you know what's going to happen then. So why should the church be any different? Oh, if the church decides that they want to donate you something by the goodness of their heart, that's just their goodness. But it's not because of anything you've done. People, if you expect something, the Bible doesn't even say. He said, as they brought the believers, they brought all things together. They had it in common. They sold houses and lands and whatever, and they brought the proceeds and they laid them before the apostles. And daily distribution was made from the one that made the contribution. But now here you go. Now you haven't put anything into it, but you yet still you want some out of it. Not biblical. Now how come I told you, Midiman offending 95% of the USA right now? We want something for nothing. People, we want something for nothing. We are unproductive, and we are looking for somebody else and looking for a handout. You want to benefit and ride on the coattail of other people. Not biblical. It's not biblical. So what Midiman is saying, whatever you get into, let's line this thing up, people. If the devil is in it, you get out of it. If God is in it, you stay in it. But remember, you cannot get something for nothing. And the Bible plainly says, if a man should not work, be productive, neither should he eat. Now that's the Bible. If you're mad at someone, get mad at God, because he's the one that made the statement. This Midiman saying whatever you get into it. God's not in it. Please, man, please, sir, come on out of it. It's called going to come to nothing. It's Midiman, till the next video or next Bible study, whichever comes first. Peace. Goodbye.